everybody. It's your girl, Ci'Ara Desaree. Once again, I am sending my love your way for everybody that decided to come and join me once again. Hey, y'all. And for everybody that decided to join for the very first time ever. I appreciate y'all, and I hope to see you back once again after this. So, just to give you a little bit of background, yeah, my name is Ci'Ara Desaree. I am a certified, self-proclaimed, but God-ordained confidence consultant, and I come on my channel and discuss everything pertaining to self-love, self-care, and becoming more self-aware. I use my pain as a platform to try to give everybody else hope and encouragement throughout whatever they may be going through. So I pray that whatever I say is something that will inspire you, encourage you, and uplift you. Now, today's topic is something very near and dear to my broken heart. Yes, to my broken heart. Now, and that's fear. That's something that actually broke my heart. In the past, I've struggled with fear because I used to really believe lies when I shouldn't have been, and I was actually living my life according to that. So that's definitely been something that I struggled with in the past, and actually something I still struggle with now. But God has been dealing with me over the years, and I've realized that fear is actually paralyzing if you allow it. Fear can be fatal if you allow it. It doesn't have to be, because we have to make conscious choices and decisions in regards to the things that we process as truths and the things that we process as lies. And so understanding how to kind of decipher between the two is what helped me to overcome my issues with it. So, basically, to give some past history about me with fear, I always felt like I tried to put my best foot forward in everything that I did, and when I talk about fear, because it hit hard after my dad passed, because I'll go into detail about our relationship, but when my dad passed, I just felt like I lost all confidence in myself. And when things started to get hard, I just didn't process it the same. It was just more internalized, and it stayed there, and it never got better. But after my father passed, I didn't have that person I could go talk to tell, okay, Dad, I'm feeling this way. I need you to lift me up with some. I just had to kind of just let whatever I believed or whatever I thought sit, right? So when I was in college, I was trying out for different organizations, tried out for dance teams, wanted to try out for the position of a girlfriend to some dude. You know what I'm saying? And I always felt like in a way I was moving to try to prove myself at every way that you can think of it. I was moving trying to prove that I was good enough, right? And so with that mindset, if you going into something like that, let me prove myself because you gonna know I'm good enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a setup for failure. Not having an explanation. Okay, I began to internalize them not picking me, and I connected that to my worth and my value. And once again, not having somebody to talk to about it, to tell me, Ci'Ara, just because that way of your idea of rejection happened doesn't mean that God didn't have a better thing, idea, situation for you on the other side. But I could not see that at that point in time, because I wanted to be on the dance team. I wanted to be within that organization. I wanted to be with that dude, and not getting feedback fueled my fear, because I always made it to be, dang, why am I not good enough? So I stopped. I stopped trying to put my best foot forward. I stopped trying to push me on other people. I stopped trying to take risk, in a sense. And so with that said, my insecurities became very loud. My insecurities became loud, and it was all based off of the fear of being rejected, the fear of not feeling good enough, the fear of comparing myself and them being better than me. And when you in that mindset, it really takes you away from what it is you really need to be doing. And so going through all of those things in life have really humbled me. but it had humbled me to the point of becoming stagnant. I was isolated. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to help anybody because I'm like, you're going to reject me too. And I was afraid of that feeling because it has happened consistently, consecutively, whether it be with organizations, my jobs, men, all of that compiled on me. I just stopped. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. And I never really understood that it was fear disguised in other things. I was afraid of that. I was afraid of that feeling of not being enough. Fear is really a choice. And it happens to us because we choose easier route of thoughts that are just automatically there. But we don't necessarily have to select that thought and run with it. You're going to get thoughts all day long, but it's up to us to pick and choose which ones we want to manifest into greater things. But I want to take my time to give you guys the Ci'Ara-Nomics version of what I learned, just what I've extracted from the feeling of rejection, the feeling of fear, right? So I got 4 points, and every time I talk to you guys about Ci'Ara-Nomics, I'll always break it down into 4 points, okay? So my first point is you're basically allowed to feel afraid, okay? But it's one thing to feel the feeling, and it's another thing to become that feeling, right? So what I used to do was I would feel the feeling and I would become afraid, and I would always like, what's wrong with you, Ci'Ara? Like, why you don't have confidence? Why are you so scared? What are you afraid of? And I never sat down and admitted to myself that I was afraid of rejection. But I can feel afraid and I can still go forward and do what I need to do. And just trust that even in this feeling of me being scared right now, unsure right now, insecure right now, I can still push forward, right? And I've noticed a lot of times when I was scared, as long as I took that first step, God was right there behind me, helping me take the next ones after. You know what I'm saying? So he's always going to be with you. Include him in your fear. He doesn't want you to be afraid, but you can feel afraid. The second thing is fear is basically a tool of the enemy. So he's trying to block you from what he knows that God is calling you to do, right? So with me, I was also afraid of the rejection thing. I was afraid of being talked about, criticized. And he played my insecurities against me. So a lot of it was talking. I didn't want people to pick on me for how I talked or how slow I talked or the fact that I had a lisp or whatever. So he played that against me and be like, they gonna laugh at your ass here. Like, why are you even thinking about getting on this camera? Ain't nobody gonna listen to you. But I feel like one of the greatest things that I could ever do was speak because I have a lot to say. The enemy wanted me to feel rejected so that I wouldn't go forward and start trying to help people with my words. So it's a tool of the enemy. Don't let him win. Do not be a slave to that. You don't have to. It's a choice. Pray your way through your fear. Pray through it. Talk to God. God, I'm terrified right now doing this video, but I ask that you just empower me to speak to the people. Help them to know and understand that this is not me. It's more of you just using me as a vessel, right? The enemy don't want you to connect to that. He wants you to sit stagnant. He wants you to be a coward. He wants you to cower in the corner and not do the work of the kingdom. Don't let him do that. This is one that I wrote down. It says, fear is mental manifestations of negative experiences and negative thoughts that shape all perception of your reality. All right, so it's basically a mental development of what you want to believe about you. You don't have to believe those lies that the enemy is just depositing like it's nothing. He's depositing them because he sees what God has for you. He sees how powerful you can be if you stop, comparing yourself. He sees how strong you could be if you start speaking positive things instead of sitting in that fear, sitting in that idea of failure. None of these things actually even really happen. So I heard a while back that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. It appears to be real, but it's not. And the closer you get to facing your fear, the stronger you become, I notice. the more you run away from it, the weaker you become. Just face it. God is right there holding your hand. He is an ever-present help, even in the times of our greatest fears, our greatest disappointments. He's going to help you through. And so, you either gonna face everything and rise, or you gonna do what I did and forget everything and run. I was like, man, forget this. I'm running the other way. You ain't got to worry about me. No, we just gonna stop right here. I'm tired of this feeling. I didn't want to face it, so I forgot everything and I ran. But now I'm in a place where I can face everything and actually rise above the things that have been causing me the greatest downfalls. And it's crazy because the things that I've always prayed for is on the other side of fear. It was right there waiting for me with my name on it. Blessings, opportunities, situations, peace. Everything was on the other side of fear, right? So walk in that, not fear. Walk in the fact that you can face everything with God and He will help you rise. Depend on Him. Depend on Him. Don't do it yourself, because if you start doing it yourself, you're going to internalize it like I did. You're going to become isolated. You're going to sit in your rejection. You're going to sit in whatever you feel like your failures are, and you're not going to do what God needs you to do. So believe in yourself. Move forward, right? So the last one that I have is fear is definitely a choice, okay? You can choose to be fearful or you can choose to be faithful. If you trust that God is going to help you through whatever you got going on, I promise you He's going to give you them opportunities. I mean, just throw it out there. As long as He sees that you're trying, as long as He's seeing that you're canceling out all of the lies with the truth that is found in the Bible. And I'm not well versed in the Bible, put it that way, but to me, yes, scriptures help you, but having a relationship with God is something that means more. If the relationship is there, you're going to want to find out the truth. But trust that God is going to help you. And if you put faith in what you're afraid of, He can turn that around, and it's not going to be something that you're a slave to. You're going to walk taller, stronger. You're going to be more confident. God is going to impact you in a different way so that you can impact others. But don't let the enemy use his greatest tool, which is fear, which is comparison, which is doubt. And all of those are rooted in fear. You're not believing the truth about who God says you are. So just make sure that you're spending time with yourself. Recognize your feelings. If you feel afraid, it's okay. Just don't become afraid, right? And as you're going through those feelings, include God in it. He hears you. He's always there. He is an ever present, always there, wanting to help you. Sometimes you have to be the person to activate His power in your life just through asking Him for help, which ultimately is a prayer. God help me. Amen. It don't have to be eloquent in speech. God knows your heart. Get to Him. Be with Him. Don't lose Him. And He's going to empower you to do the things that please Him, right? So I hope that this was an inspiration to somebody out there who, like me, had been breaking your heart, breaking God's heart slightly, just because you were believing lies, when all He wants you to do is believe that He gonna help you. So don't let fear bind you. Don't let fear keep you bound. Move forward in faith, and God is going to make sure that He takes care of everything else. Okay? So until next time, guys, I want you to make sure, promise me that you doing everything that you need to help with your self-love, self-care, and becoming more self-aware, guys. Until next time, be you, do you, but most importantly, stay true.